Okay. Hello, Knockouts. Tonya Tko here. And today's video is an impromptu video that I just decided to go live. For those of you who did not catch my workout earlier, make sure you go check that out. We had a good time out in the desert working out. And I've been getting a lot of emails and messages about Wendy Williams and people wanting me to cover her quote unquote cheating husband and Victoria's saying she just called me. I should open up the phone lines, right? But I want this video to be really short. But if you want to get in on the conversation, let me know you want to get in on the conversation and if you want to call in. So just type in, let's see, if you type in a one below, I don't have the phone lines open yet, but if you want to get in on the conversation, I'll open the phone lines up. I feel like I got stuff on the side here that I could just move out of the way. That way it's not a distraction. Okay. I feel really good. I had a nice shower and all of that. I feel good. Go check it out. I made a complete fool of myself, but we had a good time. It was really just about keeping your heart rate up. But listen, I'm creating this video just so I could talk about this one time and just be done with it. Why I refuse to discuss Wendy Williams and her quote unquote cheating husband. The main reason is because it feels predatory to me. It feels predatory. It feels invasive, it feels predatory, and it really feels like it's none of our business, you know? One of the biggest reasons that I have not discussed it is because in my spirit, I just don't feel to. If some of you have seen the photo of Wendy Williams coming out of a drugstore down in Florida, and you can see the pain in her face. You can see the pain in her face. You see the pain in her body language. You see that she's not in a good space inside of her life. And it's like we're like animals in the wild. I, Let me rewind that. The biggest reason that I'm not discussing it is because I talk about the bigger picture. We use viral topics as teachable moments for our own lives. What is the teachable moment here? If anything, the teachable moment that I see is a result of who it is that we are as people and who we've become as a society. You know, we look at these old gladiator films or these films that show the whole gladiator in the arena spectator sort of thing, and we're like, oh, those people are so barbaric. Well, there's a part of me inside of my heart, spirit, and soul that's looking around at how people are salivating at the mouth at this woman's pain. And I personally feel that that's barbaric. You know, and there are some people who are like, oh, this is Wendy Williams' karma. Wendy Williams has done this. This is how she made her money, etc., etc. Is Wendy Williams a hypocrite because she talked about people's breaking up marriages and exactly and all of that? Yeah, she's being a hypocrite right now by not wanting to talk about whatever is going on inside of her marriage. And I can only personally hope that whatever is the life lesson. See, I think sometimes we forget that we're all living, we're all learning, we're all growing, we're all loving, and we're all doing the very best that we can. I can only hope that there is some sort of teachable moment in all of this for Wendy Williams so that perhaps there's a different way that she can do business going forward. I've known Wendy Williams for a long time because I'm from New York, so I grew up listening to Wendy Williams. And it seemed as if she derived great pleasure in talking about what was going on inside people's personal lives. At times, she'd be very nasty and very vicious towards other people, really coming at it from a gossipy standpoint, maybe perhaps sometimes even spreading rumors. Like the Wendy Williams that you see on her show is a lot more kosher and couth than the Wendy Williams that was on the airwaves. Like people were angry at Wendy all of the time because she was so vicious and so harsh, right? And there are people who are like, well, maybe this is her karma. You know what? Maybe it is. But then what is my karma for salivating and lusting after her pain. You know, there's a part of me that was really disappointed because there's a vlog, a tea spiller vlogger who I happen to really like. And there was a part of me that was really disappointed when I watched her video on Wendy Williams and the glee that existed in just the glee at which it was delivered. Like, ooh, children, you know, and personally, you know, is this her karma? Perhaps, perhaps. However, just because Wendy Williams has done something doesn't mean that my highest expression of myself as a human being is to be at the level of what Wendy Williams considers acceptable. No, no. So, despite how it is that Wendy has governed herself in the past, I'm not going to descend to that level. I'm going to keep my head up high and operate in the highest, truest, most vibrant expression of myself. And for me, I choose not to discuss Wendy and her husband and the house and the girl who may be pregnant and them on the beach and and Wendy in rehab on broken up arms and possible to me, I feel like this is a personal issue. I feel like this is something that's going on in her marriage. And I think that sometimes we forget that these people are human beings. And we create a bad energy in our society because we reward people who stalk other people to provide us information about their personal business. Like the person who took the photograph of her coming out of a drugstore, instead of condemning that person, we were rubbing our hands together, mouths, the saliva coming down, just like, yeah, yeah, look at this. And I remember when I was displaced, right? So you all know that I'm famous on the internet. My videos have been viewed more than 70 million times, right? So I'm famous in these streets here. And I remember when I was displaced, I was parked outside the 99-cent store and I was getting ready to go outside of my car to go to buy some stuff at the 99-cent store because when I was displaced, that's where I was shopping for my food, etc. Right? And when I was displaced, one of the things that I used to do a lot is I would project like my consciousness. I would gather up these feelings, like I would feel like all of these feelings and these emotions which actually helped me get out of the displacement. This particular day, I decided to feel the feeling of gratefulness for being able to be anonymous in public. I was grateful that I had privacy in public. And I don't think that there are many of us who really understand how valuable that is. That while I was sitting inside of my car, that there was nobody out there waiting to take photos of me, that I could walk, I could wear a cap if I wanted to, sweatpants if I chose to, no makeup if I didn't want to. And there was nobody there to be like, look at you, look, snap, 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 you know? And so I was like, I was grateful because I know that as my fame continues to grow, that there will be a time in the future where I don't have privacy in public. And I think that we have to look at ourselves as a society and we say do unto others as we would like for them to do unto us, but I don't think a lot of us really truly fully embrace that because I'm sure that there's nobody here that if they were going through a really terrible time in their personal life that they would be like to be put in a position to be able to discuss something before they were ready to discuss it, and I'm sure, listen, like I said, I'm sure there are people out there who are like, well, Wendy Williams brought this on herself. You know what? I can only hope that from here on out, we can live in a more loving existence. I make my videos about viral topics not necessarily because I even want to. At the end of all of my videos, I give the message of self-love. However, the viral topic is the avenue to which I'm able to deliver my videos to the public, because YouTube algorithm has created it in such a way that if you're not talking about viral topics, your videos won't get views, right? So it's like I ride the wave of this viral topic, adding my own spin of the bigger picture for all of us. I don't see a bigger picture message in Wendy Williams' private relationship issues. The only bigger picture I see is who it is that we've become as people, that we relish in another human being's pain. So it's like we create a really bad precedent. So it's like out there in the regular world of mass media, we reward these stalking paparazzi, and it's like this is a phenomenon that exists here in America, where we torture our famous, where we torture and berate and invade and minimize and beat down the people that we claim to love. Personally, I'm not into Wendy Williams' stuff, so I let her do her thing. It's not my cup of tea. So I don't sip from that cup. And I won't try to pour from a cup that's empty simply because she's not my cup of tea. And I feel like we set a really horrible precedent for ourselves as a society when now, even here on YouTube, we reward people for invading other people's privacy. And listen, I put up a video 2 days ago, and there were people who started to come for me in the comments of that video. And I think that people misunderstand who it is that I am. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. I think people misunderstand who it is that I am. First of all, I could sit up here as cute as can be, giggly and wonderful. However, I am from the Bronx. I am from the Bronx, and I fear no human being. All right? So I put up a video a few days ago about something that, calling attention to something that I didn't feel was right. And there were people who decided to come and attempt to attack me in the comments. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an entire video naming names, because I feel very strongly about what it is that I was talking about in that video, about the precedent that's been created here on YouTube, where now we are rewarding vloggers for invading the privacy of private citizens. And I personally feel that, and you know what? And listen, I understand it. I get it. Because here on YouTube, we live for views, we live for hits, right? But overall, when we look at the bigger picture, what is the precedent that we are setting for ourselves as human beings, so that we become the bitch of the algorithm, so that we're out here lowering our vibration and operating in a sketchy way so that we could get hit, so that we could be the first person with information, whether that information was obtained legally, ethically, or not. And so I feel like now is the time where we need to look at ourselves and see what it is that we have become. What have we become? That a woman who is possibly, listen, possibly in a domestic violence situation, where a man who vowed to love her may have broken up her arm while he's running around with some younger woman. And listen, this is not uncommon. You all know that I study evolutionary biology. Evolutionary psychology. And when a wife goes through menopause, that is the time that her husband has his midlife crisis. That he starts wondering what his existence is, because he's married to a person where now his ability to procreate has now been cinched. And listen, it's not uncommon for a man to start, just evolutionarily, there's something that goes on inside of him that realizes that his own mortality has come. So it's so what it is that Kelvin, whoever the hell, I don't care. Whatever, is there a person in here that's trolling? All right, let me just block this person. Thank you. I wasn't really looking at the comments because I wanted to get this video done so that I could get it up. And when I'm doing live videos, most of the time I spend speaking to people who are writing. But what I'm going to do for this video, because I wanted to get this video done without having to go through the whole editing process and upload process. I just wanted to do it live. And so what I'll do is I'll jump into the comments afterwards and I'll read your comments after the fact and look and see what everyone was speaking about then. But don't worry, I'm gonna address you, and you can also write inside the comments after the video is already up. All right, so when we look at who it is that we've become, that now we're encouraging stalking and just really terrible behavior, I think that that's the bigger conversation right there. So listen, on that note, I'm gonna get out of here. I might spend a few moments reading comments. There's my sip of tea right there, something healthy and fruity, because nowadays the tea that many of us are spilling is very toxic. And it makes me wonder what's happening to us as a people. And you know what? Listen, I get it, because it's a distraction from the stuff that's going on in our own lives, the pain that we may be feeling. However, distracting from our own pain to focus in on the pain of somebody else's, laughing and relishing in the pain that they're going through. And for those of you who want to know what I'm drinking, I made a video with the recipe. It's called raspberry vinaigrette. Just search in my videos for the word vinaigrette. All right, so I'm going to read a few comments and then I'm going to get out of here. I wanted to make sure that I stated something, but it keeps slipping. It keeps slipping. It keeps slipping from my mind. Swift Rule, my name is Tonya. It seems like you're calling me by a different name. So, okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to make sure that I said before I left here. Because there may be some people who are like, well, Tonya, you discuss R. Kelly. Oh, Tonya, you've discussed John Gray and his marriage and what's going on there, right? So in terms of R. Kelly and Dominique the Creep and these other viral topics, I believe that there's a bigger picture there about rape culture, about there's so many different lessons there for us. Oh, you know what? There's certain words that I can't say in my video, otherwise YouTube will suppress the video. This is what I'm saying. We're all being controlled by this algorithm, which is, I gotta stop that. We're all being controlled by this algorithm that is controlling and gearing our society. So, RAPE culture, there's messages about the voices of the voiceless, of young black girls who are not being seen and taken seriously. There's the predatory stuff about PEDO. There's a lot that there's a lot of lessons that come there. What does it mean to be RAPE? What does that mean? Is a person who is unconscious on the dance floor, can they consent? So there are bigger conversations there. With the John Gray situation, we had a bigger societal conversation about religion, about and remember, both he and his wife are public people. So when two public people come out and they begin to create this narrative, and there's this conversation about religion, truthfulness, fidelity, making a mistake, and how do you correct your mistake in public, or when you start veering from correcting that mistake in public and you start then doing all of these other things, they're just much bigger conversations. And I hope, listen, I hope from the bottom of my heart, listen, I hope from the bottom of my heart that people can see what it is that I am attempting to do on YouTube. I am using the algorithm in such a way that we can still talk about the big picture. I don't just do this to be lascivious. I don't. And I create content to help support you in healing so that we're not just talking about fluff, so that we're not just talking about other people's lives, so that I create books and hypnotherapeutic MP3s to assist you in being able to heal your past and go in the direction that you want to go in. I even started working out with you today so that we can become heart healthy. We talk about mental health on this channel. So I hope with all of my heart, spirit, and soul that there are people who are understanding what it is that I'm doing here. Otherwise, there's no need. Otherwise, there's no need for me to be here. You know what I mean? If we're just going to be gossiping about the pain of people's lives, then there's no need for me to participate in that. So that's the biggest reason why I'm not talking about Wendy Williams. Listen, I'm going to get out of here. I did not cry. I did not cry. So I was able to keep my moisture inside, and I'm going to get out of here. I know my makeup is looking crazy today. For some reason, I'm just, the more I work out, the more sleep I need. The more sleep I need, the more tired I feel. So I'm hoping that it'll start to balance out soon. So listen, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to read all of your comments down below. Yeah. And you know what? I didn't put on makeup today. That's probably part of the why I'm looking nuts. I did try to put on some eyebrows, but my face, I'm not looking. I personally don't care. I just wanted to get the video done. So I will see you all in the comments. I'm going to, somebody saying you look fine to me. Well, I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you. I'm in, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it in. I'm gonna see you all in the comments below. Tell me what your thoughts are. I know that there's a lot of us who are into the story. I'm just not into it. I'm here to help people get to the highest calling of their inner being, the highest expression of their soul. That's why I'm here. And if I could just straight talk about the videos that I want to talk about, I wouldn't even involve the viral topics into it. But on YouTube, if you're not talking about viral topics, you're not getting seen. So on that note, I'll talk to you later. I will see you all in the next video. Tonya Tko, and I'm out. Go out there and love one another. But most importantly, what? Love yourself. And part of loving yourself is taking the time to possibly check yourself and see what it is that, just check in with yourself. Check in with yourself, and if need be, check yourself. Because if there are things that you're doing that you know you're participating in that is not in the greater good of all parties involved, then check yourself. Just on that note, I'll see you all in the next video. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Peace.